The marketplace was loud, full of chatter, the scent of roasted corn mixing with the rhythm of life. But amidst that noise, a single voice rose, fragile yet powerful, raw yet beautiful. It came from a boy no older than 16, barefoot, sitting beside a fruit stand with a second-hand guitar missing one string. His name was Arnell. His mother sold vegetables nearby, smiling every time he sang. That afternoon, as the sun bled gold across the crowded street, he began strumming Hotel California. The first notes trembled, but when his voice soared, the world seemed to stop. People turned their heads. Vendors paused mid-sale. The marketplace fell silent, as if heaven had leaned down to listen. There was a sadness, a longing, a truth in that song that felt like it came from deep pain and deep love. An old tourist filmed quietly, tears glistening. The boy sang with eyes closed, remembering nights he'd sung this very song to forget hunger. Hours later, that video would explode across the internet. Millions watched. Millions cried. But that night, Arnell just walked home through dim alleys, holding 5 coins, unaware that his voice had already reached places his feet never could. 2 mornings later, a soft knock echoed on the bamboo door. Arnell's mother opened it, wiping her hands on her apron. Outside stood a man in a crisp suit with kind eyes. "Ma'am," he said, smiling gently, "the world wants to hear your son sing." She froze. Her heart raced. Within a week, Arnell was on an airplane, his first time leaving his town, holding his mother's trembling hand as she whispered prayers between tears. On the plane, Arnell stared out the window, whispering, "Ma, I'll make you proud." When he stepped onto the bright-lit stage for the global talent show, the crowd looked enormous, the judges serious. His knees shook. When the first chord hit, he stumbled, forgetting his cue. The audience fell silent. Then, he closed his eyes and remembered the faces in the market, the children who listened with hope. Slowly, his fear melted. He began to sing Hotel California again, but this time, it wasn't a song, it was his soul speaking. His voice cracked yet carried something divine, something real. When he finished, even the toughest judges' eyes shimmered. The crowd rose, crying and clapping. The boy who once sang for coins now made the world cry in awe. After the show, reporters crowded backstage, wanting to know his secret. Arnell spoke quietly, his voice shaking. "This song, it reminds me of my father. He used to play it before he left us. I sing it because maybe, he'll hear me somewhere." His mother, watching nearby, wiped her eyes. The story spread like wildfire. It wasn't just about a voice anymore, it was about love that never stopped waiting. Far away, in a dusty repair shop, an older man stared at the video playing on an old phone. His hands, greasy with engine oil, began trembling. "That voice," he whispered. "That's my son." The memories he had buried, the guilt, the poverty, the decision to leave so his family could survive, all came crashing back. His eyes filled with tears. "He's singing my song," he said, his voice cracking. That night, he didn't sleep. He bought a plane ticket the next morning, clutching the same guitar he once taught his boy to play. "Please," he whispered, "let him still forgive me." The next show day was chaos backstage, cameras, reporters, stylists. Arnell sat quietly in a corner, strumming to calm his nerves. Suddenly, someone entered, an older man with tired eyes, holding a weathered guitar. Their eyes met. Time froze. "Arnell," the man whispered, his voice trembling. The boy froze, breath stolen. "Papa?" His guitar slipped from his hands as he stumbled forward. They collided in an embrace so deep, so full of tears, the entire room went silent. Camera crews captured every second, the way Arnel sobbed into his father's shoulder, the way the man clung to him like a second chance at life. "I left because I thought I couldn't give you a future," the father wept. "But you gave me one instead." The audience in the live show stood, clapping through tears. That night, they sang together, father strumming softly, son singing Hotel California. The lyrics, once just words, now carried years of distance and forgiveness. The duet went viral, not for fame, but for love reborn. The world called it the song that reunited a family. Months later, the market looked the same, crowded, colorful, alive. But this time, Arnel stood in the center, surrounded by cameras and lights, singing again. Not for fame, but for home. His voice was stronger, but his heart was still humble. Beside him stood his father, smiling proudly, guitar in hand. His mother handed food to hungry children, their way of giving back to the world that had lifted them. As the sun dipped low, painting the sky orange, Arnel looked up and whispered, "Dreams don't need riches. They need faith." The crowd clapped, some crying quietly. Later, he donated his first big earnings to rebuild the local music school, so every poor child could sing without fear or hunger. The world called him a star, but he only saw himself as a boy who sang from the heart. As the guitar faded, a narrator's voice softly whispered, "Some songs never end. They travel through pain, forgiveness, and love, until they find their way home." The camera panned upward as Arnel sang the last line, "You can check out any time you like, but you can never leave." The screen faded to black, leaving millions wiping their tears in silence.